Hello, my name is Varela, and this is a research project of the rising development of a green and feminist society. So, feminism is a topic that has become a part of society and humanity, and it has become something that frequently appears on the news and that people talk about mostly every day. It has been growing and turning into a revolution and historical division, a change or a bridge between the modern and the past era. But there's so much more of it. Do people actually know what feminism is, or just some cover of it? Every branch, connection, and relation to the oppression that women suffer daily. Ecofeminism is one of those branches, and one of the not so spoken parts of feminism. It is a recent, modern movement that connects women and nature oppression and exploitation from the patriarchy. Along this video and this presentation, all of those concepts will be explained to detail. And addressing to the words that one of the creators of ecofeminism said, Vandana Shiva, ecofeminism is one of the most sophisticated and creative philosophical ecologies. Hi, my name is Carolina Varela, and this is the final presentation for the research project of ecofeminism for the 21st Century Science and Technology course. So, ecofeminism, what is it about? What's the problem? So basically, the portrayal of women in modern societies is a topic that deserves as much attention as it can get. It includes everything that has to do with women, from the historic event that gave women the right to vote, to the conception of women in the modern era. The topic of ecofeminism is something that immediately catches the eye and from which you want to know more about. It has that effect because it is something strange and unknown. This movement is something massively important that people rarely talk about because they do not know about it, because no one talks about it or writes about it, and it passes as something that people believe as an exaggeration or as a dramatism. Ecofeminism needs more attention and requires people to understand it and get to know this recent stream. Every day, both women and nature suffer from some type of violence and exploitation. And how can society help or produce a change if they don't even know what's going on? How far does these abuses have to go so people pay attention to them? This is a way to try to fix this problem by writing and helping educate people on the subject. So the variables taken into consideration for this research were the following, and are several. First of all, the numeric variable is the amount of people that took the survey. The categorical would be the research type, the investigating types of feminism focusing on ecofeminism and the feminist style, and the experimental divided into two. The dependent variable, the effects of feminism nowadays, its consequences and its impact on the future, and the independent one, the growth of the movement, the knowledge that people acquire from the topic. The control variable would be the history of ecofeminism, and the moderator variable would be ecofeminism as a whole. So the hypothesis. Ecofeminism is a movement that developed because women started to be more conscious about the environment, the human effects and damage that were being caused by different industries and people's lack of knowledge throughout the whole world. And their attempts to unite elements from ecology and feminism, and yet relieves both challenges that these movements face nowadays. So if ecofeminism continues to grow in the following years, then a positive impact will be produced in both ecology and feminism. The research question of this project would be the following. Will it take an environmental and women's holocaust to change the perception of environmental sustainability and human behavior? This is a brief summary, including the main points of the theoretical framework. So ecofeminism is a movement that sees a connection between the exploitation and degradation of the natural world, as well as the women's subordination and oppression. It emerged at the mid-70s along with the second wave of feminism and the eco-green movement. It started because women were always the first ones to protest against the destruction of the environment, and it eventually became clear that science and technology were not neutral regarding gender, and there existed a narrow connection within the abusive domain of men and nature, and the same relation that happens with women and abuse of power that rules most societies, converting them into patriarchies, including modern societies. So they concluded that the earth needed feminist action because they were interconnected to the masculinity that denied women's rights to their bodies and sexuality and imposed men over women. At the end, the goal was to find respect for women in nature and promote them. Ecofeminism has gained popularity through the years due to the also growing popularity of feminism itself, and started to branch out into two main philosophies, radical and cultural feminism, although they have encountered some differences along the way. Any strategy to address one must take into consideration its impact on the other, so the women's equality should not be achieved at the expense of worsening the environment, and neither should environmental improvements be gained at the expense of women. Those would be the basic principles of feminism. Now, for the methodology, the materials and methods used were a cell phone and laptop, both tools to research information, design and apply the survey, and write a report. The survey was designed with a total of 15 different questions, from which 4 were open-ended and the rest were a yes or no closed question. It was applied to 41 people, both men and female, with preference, since it is a portrayal of women topic, within the ages of 17 to 45 years old. Then the data was collected, graphed, and analyzed. The survey was sent separately to groups of people or individually and answered digitally. To ensure that the results were reliable, only one answer could be sent per survey. Now, independent groups and repeated measures were used as part of the design. The same participants were used for all of the experiment, in reducing the individual ranks. This would be the experimental design. The results obtained from the survey were quite interesting, and it was a digital questionnaire that provided quick responses and collected data. So from the 41 people that were surveyed, approximately 69% said that they did view a connection between women and nature. However, the 31% said they did not found any connection between the both topics. Now, the second question, which says, are you familiar with the movement of ecofeminism? 52%, the majority, said that they did not know about the movement, and the 47% said they did have an idea of what the movement was. And now the third question, it was a statement about the principles of ecofeminism, from which the majority, as the graph shows, showed that most people agreed with this sentence. However, a small portion denied the. Now, the survey showed interesting results within the topic. So first of all, the majority are not familiar with the movement of ecofeminism nor its purpose, as the graphs showed. However, the majority support the movement of feminism as a whole and believe that women and nature should be prioritized and share common issues like exploitation. Some of the questions were not answered by everyone, indicating that ecofeminism is still a foreign topic for a lot of people. The results show that feminism is a topic with different postures, but most with a positive focus, and sharing the idea that women suffer a lot these days from different issues. Therefore, the survey had a positive approach for the topic and showed important results within interesting responses. Now, the inferential statistics would be that through this research and survey, at least 80% should be able to define ecofeminism, and an estimated of 2/3 of the readers will understand the goals and purposes for ecofeminism. The conclusions showed that the results matched what was expected towards the topic. Why? Because since the beginning, it was expected that most people will not know what the movement was. There is a congruency between what was expected and what actually turned out. Now, the improvement proposals, people will understand and gain perspective of the subject. Future investigation and research to learn the advances of the movement will be made, and the exposition of the video/research to more and more people to gain more audience and target more people knowing the movement of ecofeminism. A great way to understand about the issues that happen nowadays is to stay informed and updated about the rising movements that exist, but also to accept that there is in fact an existing remarkable difference between men and women, and there is still a long way to go to reach the pursuit of equality. How is it possible that in the middle of the 21st century there are still silent genocides? That is exactly what this is, a non-human crime to end women and nature. Ecofeminism is a movement that successfully connected them both and aims to make a change. People must know about it to start making a change, and this research purpose is exactly that. Each person that reads this work knows and understands the issue that is lived right now and the reasons of the matter. This is a list of the APA references used, and all that to say is thank you for your attention, and let's hope that ecofeminism turns into a movement that more and more people gain conscious about.